Well, what we want to tell folks on this podcast is that while there's a very, very, very slim and minute chance that you'll go viral, the people who create careers from this, you can see are very much more strategic. And the people that last here for long, long times, 10, 15, 20 years, there's very formulaic. There's a way to make it work. But you can't depend on going viral to feed yourself over a 10-year span. You can't do that. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's a recipe for disaster. And and what you find yourself doing is you just find yourself doing more and more things that are more depraved in order to get attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you'll find yourself doing. It's like you'll find yourself first it's like, okay, we're wearing a bikini, then we're then we're down
yourself on fire.
Yeah, like it doesn't. You're gonna try to keep upping the ante on something that you just cannot continue to up the ante on. Like, first, you first you're fully clothed, and then by the time we get to year 3 or 4, it's like you just wearing socks. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way for you to continue to do that and to remain relevant. Like, even your biggest people, if you're a Kardashian, like eventually it dwindles down. Like, people make their money, but you cannot continue to do that situation and keep thinking that you're going to get the same level of response for what you did 10, 15 years ago. It just doesn't work that way.
I really think they don't care, Joe. I think
it's fine. They don't have to care, but
they
have to realize that, listen, like this, it's a dead end. It's like, you'll get what you got to get for now, and just hopefully you can stack your chips and you can pivot.
Yeah.
But if you're not a person that knows how to stack your chips and pivot, and you don't have the right infrastructure to really capitalize off of it, you're gonna find yourself doing more depraved things for popularity, and then the money ain't gonna be there like you thought it was.
But I think this generation also has this mentality of, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be around.
Oh, that's a whole other situation.
Another 5-10 years. I'm gonna get what I can get now, and whatever I gotta do to get it. This whole microwave fast food, gotta get it now. This whole YOLO lifestyle, gotta get it now. Don't know from beer. So, and I think, like, the music, I think this is really bigger than music. Honestly, I think what's happening in our community, in our neighborhoods, I think all of that, the lack of education, the lack of families, each one teaching one, the lack of male role models and women role models. Like, I think a lack of all of these things in our communities is spitting out this type of energy, and it's reflected in the music. So that's why you're getting music that sounds like this. You have music where artists, if you want to call them even artists, are not even respecting themselves, or they're involved in certain things, whether it's scamming or hustling people or drug dealing or whatever the case may be. It's being reflective of what's happening in the community. And yes, hip hop has always been kind of reflective of what's happening in the community, but it's to an extreme. People are getting killed. And let's talk about how people are being so disrespectful on records. Like, the disrespect on records is extreme. Yeah, I remember when you used to be able to rap about somebody and you may didn't say their name, subtle jabs here and there, or even when you're rapping about someone, you back and forth with them, it kind of like stayed at a certain pace, stayed at a certain level. Now you got smoking this ops. Now you got artists shooting videos at somebody's grave site. You got all sorts of, like, off the chain things that are happening. And then, how as a family member or friend that sees these videos, how are they going to respond? They go back in the hood and they go and find, like, it's a cycle.
It goes back to what you just said, though. It's a lack of everything. and part of it is systemic. But I would say it's 2023, and we all have access to information. So I can't really blame ignorance anymore, bro. I want to say that, but I can't, because we all have access to information now.
Yeah, but just because we have access to information doesn't mean that people know how to access that information. Or
I'll take that.
Or they don't know what to look for. They don't know the right questions to ask, or they just don't have the mind capacity or the understanding or intellect to put one on one together to figure it out, to comprehend. It's a lot of that going on around too. You tell somebody, and I'll give you an example. You give somebody a link for an ebook, and what do I do with this? Click the link. Like you would be amazed. Like, what do I do? Click the link. Where does where does it go? It goes to your download folder. Now, some may say, well, that's straight ignorance. Some people say that's stupid. But then at the same time, if you're not used to doing something, or nobody showed you, or there's no interest in you to kind of go and check things out yourself, you're not gonna know. So there's a lot of things that we do and say that we're assuming everybody else understands and knows how to do.
Yeah.
And it's not always the case. Bottom line, we gotta be better. We gotta do better with this music. We gotta be more creative. We gotta really look at the content that we're giving out, and really want to ask ourselves, what are we doing this for?
When we say that we want people to be more creative, I think we need to elaborate on that, because I think that's like the blanket statement that we say, hey, folks are not being creative. What does that entail now? It's 2023. Like, how do we get back to a number one hip hop album and stuff? And a lot of it is, I would say a lot of the number ones are not coming anymore, because, a lot of us who are legacy producers, the people who know what the recipe is, just aren't participating. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have said, you know what? If you think about, like, say, for example, like I seen an interview with The Alchemist the other day, and he was just basically saying that, he no longer cares about the industry, right? And everything that he does now is just kind of, on a legacy type of level. But,
say that, with all due respect to Alchemist, he can say that.
Right.
For obvious reasons. He can say that. He can do that. And nothing against Alchemist. We know we've known Alchemist and worked with Alchemist, and he's great at what he does. But he can walk away. He can do that. His contribution to this game is impeccable.
Right.
But he can walk away. He has that choice. Some of us don't have that choice. Some of us we got to, because it goes further than just rap music for us.
It's real.
It's Black culture.
It's real.
So it's like we want to make sure that the effects of the music resonates properly within our community.
So basically, you said a lot of us have a responsibility not to walk away from it. On that level, because listen, like, yeah, if you want a number one, like, Tim is still out here, Pharrell's out here,